Hello everybody, my name is Tanya, and in today's watercolor I'm going to be painting this barn surrounded by this beautiful lavender field, and I'm going to be using the wet on wet technique to create those soft edges. And I will be finishing it up with some colored pencils and a gel pen. So the supplies that I use for this, I'm using my Woomer set of 24 colors, and I'll put the colors here on the screen for you. And I'll also have them in the description. If you don't have this set, just use whatever similar colors that you do have. And then I'm using these 3 watercolor brushes, a flat brush, a calligraphy brush, and a number 4 round, some colored pencils, a gel pen, and a white acrylic marker. And the paper that I am using is this 5x7 block of hot pressed watercolor paper by Layton, which I've been really enjoying. And the links will be in my description for all these supplies. So I start out with just a basic barn sketch on my paper. I put it in the upper third part, as you can see, and you can find a lot of barn pictures online that'll help you, but I just used a basic shape, as you can see, and I started with the barn wet on wet. And I take my number 4, I'm just wetting in the barn with water, and I started in with my reddish brown color, and I'm just dropping the color in. I didn't go put any water near the window, or on the window I should say, because I wanted to keep the window light. Now you want to have a paper towel handy, or a towel of some sort. I sopped up some water there, as you can see, to create some areas where I can put those windows on the side. And then I'm adding more of a darker value of that reddish brown color. But you do want to keep, like I said, a towel or paper towel handy, because I'm going to be picking up some of that color. So you dry your brush off and pick up some of that color, because it did spread onto my onto the roof there. So if yours does the same thing, you could keep it red if you want, but I didn't want to. I wanted a light colored roof, so I picked up some of that paint with my brush. Now I'm also going to be picking up some of the paint for the door. And the one thing I really enjoy about using the wet on wet technique, especially for the lavender field, as you will see, is it creates just these beautiful soft edges. And I think soft edges are great for landscapes, especially a landscape that has a lot of detail. It's a way to add a sense of color and softness and dreaminess to your landscapes without all the detail. So I'm taking my brush there, and I am doing the bottom part there where the lavender field is going to be. And I don't really care about, when I'm doing this, you'll see, I don't care about the colors spreading into one another. I think it looks pretty that way. That's kind of the effect I'm going for, that soft kind of dreamy look. And you can create this with the one-on-wet technique, and if the colors blend together, that's nice. So I started with that's my 3/4 inch brush, and I'm starting with the color called violet, and I'm creating kind of rows, and you kind of have to use kind of your perspective technique. So the barn's in the center. I'm creating my rows. They get smaller as they go towards the barn. So I started with lotus. Oh, sorry. No, I started with violet, then I added some of the phthalo green. Now I'm coming back with some of the lotus color. I'm just dropping the colors in. I'm not trying to be too perfect about it. Just being loose with my brush strokes. And here I'm adding more of the lotus color, darker value, to create some shadows. And I changed to my number 4 here just to so I could just add a little bit more smaller amounts of detail. And here I come in with my the emerald color, and I'm adding some green to the in between the rows there. And I don't care if the purple mixes in with it, because it actually creates a pretty color when you got that green mixed with the purple. While that's drying, I start with the sky, and the sky is also wet on wet, and um, I do touch a little bit. I touch my brush to the lavender there, so the lavender does spread up into the sky area there, but I don't care because it actually gives it kind of a purple glow, which is pretty. So I'm wetting it pretty well with my brush there for the sky, and then I'm going to be putting in a cerulean color. I'm trying to keep the brush strokes kind of loose, and going in one direction horizontally. There's a few times I have to go down vertically, but I'm trying to keep it more of a horizontal feel to the sky with the brush strokes. As you can see, the lavender, the purple colors going up into the sky, and they're kind of all blending together. But I think it looks beautiful, and that's what gives it that dreamy, soft edges look. Okay, so while that is drying, my barn was uh, pretty much dry. It wasn't totally dry, but I thought I'd go ahead and start adding a little bit of the details. So I took my calligraphy brush and I went back with the reddish brown, a darker value, and added a little bit of the deep detail. So since it was dry, and basically dry, that's where you get the sharper edges there, more crisp edges when you let it dry and you come back and add some details. So you can see it was a little bit still wet, the barn was right there. It was spreading. It didn't have that crisp detail, but that's okay. And this calligraphy brush, I really love it. It has such a nice sharp point to it, and I'll have it linked to my description, in my description, I should say, under my supplies. I wanted the barn to be a little bit more red, so here I dipped my brush into the scarlet to add a little bit more red. And I accidentally went over the window, which is all right because we'll come back with a pencil after it's dry. Okay, so that was all dry, the lavender field. So this is where I come in with my the pointy calligraphy brush right there, and I'm using the Lotus color, and I'm dipping it into the paint there, and I'm adding some details. So this is what's great about using the wet on wet technique first to create that soft glowing look, the soft edges, and then when it's dry you can come back and add some detail. Now you don't have to add a bunch of detail. It's kind of nice not to add too much detail. I think it lets the person looking at the painting, create their own image of what they see in their mind, and it doesn't make it too busy. I think it works great for landscapes, using the wet on wet and then come back and using the wet on dry technique to create some sharp edges and detail. Okay, so I let it all dry and now I came back with my pencil. I'm using just a white color pencil, Prismacolor, and just filling in some areas where I think, the barn. I was thinking in my mind a red and white barn, so where I might see some white, and then I wanted um, the roof to be a little bit more white, so I'm coming in with this white color pencil. But I do have to say, when I was doing this, I can be impatient sometimes letting stuff dry, so it was a little damp and still a little damp still, and my color pencil was not since it's damp and it's soft, the paper's still a little bit soft. It wasn't coloring as white as it normally does if I would have let it dry all the way. So let yours dry all the way. You'll get more crisp white marks with your color pencil. So then I thought, oh, it would be nice just to add a few little flicks here and there with this white pencil, just to create a little bit more of a highlight contrast on the lavender. Still keeping it soft. And I let it dry a little bit more and added some more flicks there of my pencil and wanted to add a little bit more white. So as you can see, when it's drier, of course, the pencil works better. And I have this purple, it's kind of like a lavender, I should say, colored gel pen, Jelly Roll gel pen. And I thought it would look really nice to add a few dots here and there with it. Just on the lavender, just to create a few little highlights, but still keep it not too detailed for me. If you are follow my channel, sometimes I tend to add too much detail. And then now I have a acrylic pen I'm adding more whiteness to. So acrylic does go over the colored pencil. Now a gel pen will not go over the colored pencils, but this acrylic marker does. Now you can, if you want to, use some resist, like some masking fluid over the barn before you even paint it. That would work too, but I decided not to do it that way. I did it this way instead. But if that works for you, you can draw your barn and just use some masking fluid to white out the parts you want to keep the white of the paper before you paint it. Now I'm coming in with some more colored pencils just to add some more brightness and color to parts of the painting. I'm trying not to, though, um, cover up some of those really soft, beautiful edges that I created with the watercolor. Just trying to emphasize some of the parts of the painting with the pencil, but not go over anything that I, really liked how it looked, the effects that were made with the watercolor. I wanted to add a little bit of shadows. I think the painting need a little bit more of dark values here and there, so I took my black. Create some shadow and some contrast. Now, if you use hot press paper to me works better with color pencils because it's just a smoother finish. But it also works with if you use cold press. It's just not a smooth finish. And then I am calling it done. I hope you guys like it. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon with the next video. Bye-bye.